Around the holidays, do you find yourself just yearning for a simple craft project that you can put together quickly, that's fun, and without a whole lot of additional stress? If so, you're going to love my sweet little wire holly leaf decorations. These are great for making into all sorts of things around Christmas time, and they're freeform and fun to put together. Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another jewelry making video at keepsakecrafts.net. I'm starting off to make my holly leaves, and here's an example of one that I already have done. But I'm starting off with a 12-inch piece of 20 gauge wire. And the first time you want to make one, you definitely want to use just an inexpensive craft wire, and that's what this is. If you want to later on, you could certainly use sterling silver wire, silver filled wire, or something more precious. But these are just a fun project. So the first thing you want to do is straighten your wire. You always want to do that when you're doing a project. I like to hold it with flat nose pliers because they have such a nice wide area for gripping. And then just run your nylon jaw pliers along. Once or twice. You don't want to get it too hard, but it won't hurt to harden it a little. And straighten it out and smooth out all the kinks. Now you could use anything for a round form, like the barrel of a pen or something thicker, maybe a Sharpie pen barrel. But I do love these bail making pliers. They just make life so much easier. So I'm going to start down here. I'm going to leave about 2 inches, maybe a little more. I want to make sure I have plenty. Let's see. Yeah, about 2.5 inches. And then go ahead and grip your wire with your round object or your bail making pliers. I'm just going to use these. This, I believe, is a 10mm shape, round shape. And just go ahead and bend your wire so that it makes a U shape. And then right where that U stops curving, grab it with your round nose pliers and bend that wire towards you and then out and away. And what these little loops are, they kind of are representing the thorns of holly. Although if you've ever tangled with a holly bush, you'll know that these are much nicer and kinder than holly thorns. Ouch. There's one, and then we're just going to keep doing that. Put your round form right in there. Just tuck it right in next to that. And bend it up in a U shape. Grab it with your round nose pliers and bend that wire. So you're going to head that wire towards, back towards the inner curve. And if your loops turn out too big, you saw I just took my flat nose pliers and kind of changed it a little. And we're going to do that 2 more times. I love the freeform nature of this. It's just easy, it's relaxing, there's no stress. It comes out really cute without a whole bunch of measurements. I mean, if you're the type that you really feel like you must have measurements and details, you can. You can measure it out and get precise points, but I sort of like this process. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this one's going to be the tip of the holly leaf. The real pointy bit that likes to stab you. So just kind of maybe make that one curve a little less. So once you have 4 loops and 4 curves, then you just start going back down in the other direction. Is all there is to it. Nope. T'other way. And I'm going to make this one a little closer as I get to the end. I'm also running out of wire. Maybe I should have cut a longer piece. I think yeah, I'm leaving my loops a little bigger than maybe I did on the other one. No big deal. No stress, like I said. Easy, free form, loosey-goosey. Right? Okay. So now you have this kind of crazy looking thing. And you have these wires that are pointing in the wrong direction for a leaf. So what I'm going to do is grab them again right about where that curve ends, bend it back. Now you're going to take that short end, we'll hold those 2 straight bits right there, just with your flat nose pliers. You get plenty of room to grip. Grab that shorter wire and make a couple wraps. And you can make these neat or messy. This time of year when everything is so busy, I highly recommend messy. It looks interesting, it suits the style of the project, and it's less stress on you. And now I'm going to take this long wire and I'm bending it back towards the center of the leaf. This one is definitely free form. Try to straighten it out a little bit more. There we go. That's better. I might have cut a slightly longer piece of wire. You know what? I think when I did this before, I think it was a 15-inch piece of wire. I actually did the testing on these a few days ago, and it seems to have slipped my mind. And now here's a lovely opportunity to add some beads. And this is a fun time to, if you have random green beads, you can just go through your stash and pull out some green beads of whatever type you want. I think crystals look particularly pretty. Oh, but before you do that, first of all, you could take your flat nose pliers and just kind of flatten out each of those loops so that they're lying flat against each other. And then depending on whether you want to add texture or not, if you want to add texture, a chasing hammer is great. If you don't, then a nylon hammer or a rawhide hammer will do the trick. I'm going to try adding a little texture and interest to this one. You don't want to spend much time at all. Try to avoid it completely, and then you'll only hit it a couple times. Hitting the crossovers. Because if you hit the crossovers, it weakens the wire there. So I'm just trying to hit the loops and the curves in between them. And it does not, now that even adds to that graceful look because it's just spreading the wire on that outer part of the curve. Even if you don't want to do this step, go ahead and tap it a few times, like I said, with the nylon hammer or the rawhide hammer, because that will help strengthen it and give it rigidity. And by the way, so many of you have asked me on the videos where you can get this supply or that supply for the creative videos that I show you. And what I have done, I've used this to just make this mostly flat. What I've done is I have a page on Amazon that is all full of products that I recommend for your polymer clay work and your jewelry work. Basic tools, fun tools, extra supplies, things that I have, own, and highly recommend. And you can find that by going to Amazon.com/keepsakecrafts by Sandy Huntress. I know that's a long name, but it's the same name as this YouTube channel. So this is fun because once we get that on, then we just start stringing beads. And you can do all sorts of things with this. You could make it into a brooch, add a pin back. You could make it into a pendant and add a chain and put it on a necklace. It could be a tree ornament, a package topper. You could keep it all gold and just add gold beads or silver and gold beads. Now honestly, this next step was the one I found the trickiest of the whole procedure. So first of all, I'm just going to make sure that this, all right, I'm going to eliminate that last bead. This goes right to the tip of that leaf. Give it a little bit of a curve. There we go. Go ahead and grab it and give that a 90-degree bend. I really should have cut a longer piece of wire. I would recommend 15 inches and give yourself a good 3 at the beginning. Where I said 2, 2.5, yeah, I'd say at least 3. Unless you're using solid gold wire. Yeah. And then I'm just turning a loop here. And what you're going to do is, first I'm going to bend that, I'm going to twist that sideways, because what I want to do is hook it around this loop here. And what I'd like to do is get it right in that loop. So you might have to bend this down a little. This is what I mean. This was like the part that I found the most challenging of the whole operation. The beads get in the way, and then the hook gets in the way, and the wire's in the way, my fingers are in the way. Oh. Ha! I think I got it. Okay, close enough for now. Once you get it on there to where you want it, take whatever tools you need to close up that loop. And you'll end up with something like this one. And then you can put 2 or 3 together, wire them together. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. I'm going to put it against my black sweater so you can see. I think that's just beautiful. I was going to do 3, but some part of me says no, 2 is sufficient. I'm going to, let's see, that wire is wrapping that way, so I'm going to just go ahead and pop this here. Get that wire a couple wraps. Get that into the shape you want. And now I have these. Aren't they yummy? I have these glass ones. Those are a little big. There's those. Or I have these. Oh, I like those better. It's funny, I have had these beads for years, and I love them, and I love the color, and I've yet to find a project that they work for. So disappointing. And now I have some very fine wire. This is 28 gauge. It's an absolute mess. I'm just gonna cut it here. Cut a chunk off the spool because it's a mess. Oh my goodness. Thread on one of my red beads. I'm gonna pop this right in the center, or near the center of the wire. Bring the 2 wires down and just give it a couple twists. And that way your holly berry can sit nice and perkily on top of the leaves without much of the wires showing. And then you can take a little time, and this really is again a very free-form thing. Just wrap it however works on your particular piece. Wrap it a few times, this way, that way. I think I might even wire these 2 loops together just to give it a bit of stability. And I just realized I hammered this one and not that one. Oh well. Like I said, we're doing loosey-goosey and freeform. This is just a fun Christmas project. Sometimes I just feel like doing something mindless and creative, but without a whole lot of pressure around Christmas. There's enough pressure, even though I've eliminated a lot of the extra pressures. I don't do big expensive gifts. I don't throw huge house parties. Still, there's a lot of pressure around Christmas time. Oh, that's better. That really helps stabilize that. So wrap whatever you need to. String on your other berry beads. You can form this into a loop. You could glue a small pin back on the back to make it into a brooch. Make it a Christmas tree ornament with the loop, whatever you want to do. I hope you enjoy and have a lovely, blessed Christmas. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy creating. Bye-bye.